or when you want to apply it, you have to know who was it that was studied. And so there's some limitations in terms of applying this based on who really participated. You can't apply it to your favorite cat, because we didn't have any cats in the study. Just FYI. I'll list the study hypotheses, and then we'll talk about the results. So this thing, all right. Okay, got it. So here's what we did in the study. In the morning, people had a morning drink. We tried to be flexible. So you could do the drink all together, or you could do cinnamate by itself, or, but this is essentially, these are the elements. And we asked people to do all of those things and not to be in the study without doing all of those things. So everybody in the study did all of these things. You drank the Complete, the Thrive, the Cinnamate. At midday, you could take between 1 and 4 capsules. You could take them separately, you could take them together. You could take them at 9 o'clock and at 11 o'clock and 1 o'clock and 3 o'clock. It didn't really matter. I just asked people to track what they did, and I haven't analyzed that part yet. There's so many other great results to talk about. And then before bed, we set you up for the next day with Renew and Verdizymes. And so this idea was, this is a whole program to create some really great success, because you're starting off with excellent nutrition, and then you're using PowerCHI, and then you're ending with excellent nutrition and help that will set you up to have a day the next day that's also really wonderful. So it's going to build. So that program aspect of it was critical. So this was a study about a program, not a study only about the PowerCHI capsule, right? So that's the first thing to really understand. This study was about a program. The study did not look at just PowerCHI. All right, we did it for 6 weeks. People took 3 surveys, before, in the middle, afterwards, and then we had a brief follow-up 6 weeks later. We had mostly women in the study. So the thing that I learned, next time I'm allocating spots for men, because it fills up and then there's like 11 men, right? And so what I did was I had to just toss them. Sorry, men, but you weren't in the data analysis, because when there's only 11 men, all it does is create what we call noise in the data. So we don't
they always?
No.
So men create.
There's reasons why we say these things. It's just noise.
So men create.
Curtis might have more of that than some. Okay. So most of the people in there, about 47 years old. There were a lot of people in their 40s, some in their 30s, some in their 50s, some in their 60s. Range 19 to 80 years old, nice range. Okay. Most people had at least some college or more. Most were white, but there's a nice chunk of Hispanic. 35% I thought was pretty good. Okay, most worked full-time or more. These are women, they're working full-time or more. Most were married, half of them had no children at home left, I guess. 36% had 1 or 2. We had a great response rate. This response rate would make anyone jealous. This is just unbelievable. This response rate is fantastic. You guys did wonderful. 115 gave me complete data out of just 125 who started. That is just unheard of. And so I like the way we set this up. I think we'll try and do it again that way. Okay, so now I'm going to describe what people looked like when they started PowerCHI. Because in order to understand the impact of the PowerCHI program, you have to see where you started. You can't just kind of see where you ended and then assume that you got better. You have to know that you got better. You have to see where the beginning is so we can see where the end is in comparison. And so we're looking at exercise. I'm going to have to redo how I asked about exercise. People were a little confused about how they did. So we had 16% that said I don't exercise, but if you look at over the past 4 weeks, we had 32% who said they actually didn't exercise. So I'm not really sure where the truth is. But what we're looking at is people who generally say, I don't get enough exercise. Most people felt like they didn't get enough exercise. Is this a social issue? Like, I should be exercising more than I am, or I don't count what I do as exercise, or is it reality that you really don't get enough exercise? You know, I could ask those questions, but we don't know that for sure because I didn't ask those questions. Of the people, this is kind of interesting, why people weren't exercising. That's one of the things that we were targeting with the PowerCHI program. Is one of my hypotheses, which you'll see in a minute, was I wanted people to feel better, because when you feel better, you feel more like exercising. So I wanted to check that out. And so the reason why people didn't exercise was they mostly couldn't get themselves to do it. And so if that's mind or body, it doesn't really matter. It's sort of a whole thing. They didn't have enough energy, they didn't have enough time, all of those things kind of, and I think the not enough energy really folds into, I can't get myself to do it. A lot of them already exercised 2 days a week, 3 to 3.5. You know, so most people were exercising, of the people who exercised, most of them seemed to exercise 3.5 days a week. What it looked like, you've got a whole variety of what it looked like. I did ask people about housework because it's important to mention. You know, you're like walking up and down stairs and carrying laundry and, you know, washing. That's all exercise, rolling your eyes, all that. I didn't measure how many of those people had children at home. I think I might do that analysis later because I think that's going to provide you opportunities for eye rolling. Okay, cravings. So 47%, half of the people in the study had cravings every day. So I just want you to feel like you're not alone. If you have cravings every day, you and half the people in the study had cravings every day, and 35% gave in most of the time or every time. So what we're seeing are people that are driven by their cravings. Like I look at people who are driven around by emotion, they're in emotion mind, people are in craving mind, you need something. What we're really seeing is that your body is not comfortable, and so your brain is trying to figure out what will help it. And so you had a really great experience, 14 years ago with a chocolate chip cookie that was like the bomb. And so your brain's like, oh, lock that in, that worked. And so now you're kind of searching for that elusive experience, and so you've decided it was chocolate chip cookies, and probably that wasn't what it was that was going on, but your brain is like, oh, I think it was chocolate chip cookies, so you keep trying to create that same comfort experience, that same experience of, oh, now I really feel better. And you're using chocolate chip cookies, and as you know, there's a wide variety of quality when it comes to chocolate chip cookies. There's the ones I make, which are superior. And there's the ones you can buy in the store, which are not food. All right, actual sugar intake. 10% never eat sugar. I think they're the people who forgot they never exercised. Just kidding, I'm sure they are right. I'm sure they never eat sugar. So, here's the overall point that I'm saying is these guys were pretty healthy. A lot of people exercise, low sugar intake. The average American eats 3 pounds. Doesn't it just make you want to vomit? Like, we need a vomit break right now. Run to the wastebasket. 3 pounds of sugar a week. That's crazy. Nutritionists actually recommend 13.5 teaspoons a day.
What?
Because that's 10% of your calories, right? So, this is why I don't really read a lot about what nutritionists say.
Wow.
Lots of people didn't have coffee, hardly at all. Okay, so only 5% had more than 2 cups a day. And so what I'm looking at here is,
Thank you,
Cinemate, absolutely. Like, what's your need for stimulation? And are you trying to find it through coffee? And so if we're looking at PowerCHI as a stimulant, and you're already using a lot of coffee, I'm just curious about where you were starting out. Lots of vegetables in this group. People ate vegetables pretty well. Only 14% of Americans eat 2 servings of fruit and 3 of vegetables per day. So if you can do that, you're better than 86% of Americans. That's really something. This group eats better than the average American for sure. 60% ate 3 meals a day, 33 ate 2 meals per day. This that elimination question was really awesome. The last time I asked this question, we had a lot more problematic elimination. Most people were having a little trouble. Here we had most people having a great time in the bathroom. It's like you're hearing music coming from it, right? And so the thing is, I'm like, oh, you know, I can't even run an analysis because only 8 people had poor elimination. That's not enough to analyze. I'm like, you know, it's like the men, you know, you just, all right. So we just skipped that analysis, that's fine. Median weight was 174 or 5 pounds. Median BMI, 29.7. The average height, pretty average for Americans. A little taller, maybe 64 inches is the average. 64.3 here, average height. So you calculate the BMI from height and weight. So you look at the average American women, and we're pretty similar.
That's crazy.
Most people use Soul Naturals products. Only 4 have no soul. So if you look at how many were already taking, 50% already taking 9 products. So I'm like, okay, so this is not a group that is what we would call naive to soul.
Yeah.
And so here they are, they're already eating vegetables, they're already eliminating really well. They're already taking 9 products on average, or at least 50% of them are taking 9 products. And so I'm like, so this is a tough group to improve. Really? 80% are already doing Vital and Cinemate every day. 60% using SoulFlex PI, adaptable, right? 34% are on at least 1 medication. 70% of Americans are on at least 1 medication.
But only 1.
Yeah, only 1. Yeah, 70% are on at least 1. Only 15% were on at least 2 medications. And so again, this is a really healthy group. So I'm thinking, oh no, this is analysis. This, you know, we have got a huge bar to leap because if you're starting off healthy like this, you don't have a lot of room to show a lot of improvement because these people are already pretty dang healthy. So they're pretty soulful, hard to look at change in this. In order for PowerCHI to really make a difference, it has to be pretty powerful. So I want to step back here and talk about what we're looking at as a company. What is the big picture here? We want you to be in charge of your own health. And what I'm seeing in this group of people that are starting this study is that they are already living that. They're really obviously taking charge of their own health. They're eating vegetables, they're exercising, they're having very minimal problems with elimination. All really great signs for the people who are involved. So kudos to all the participants for already taking charge of their own health. Continue doing that and inspire others. So here are the hypotheses. That the PowerCHI program will result in more energy, weight loss, lowered cravings, and an increased urge to eat healthy and exercise. Emotional well-being improved. The SF36 is one of the tests that I gave you on that long thing. So it's a short form, it's only one of them. I gave you a cravings questionnaire, I gave you some other things. So the FS36 is a very, very widely used, very well-known questionnaire. It's sort of like a gold standard for a basic general health questionnaire. And the other hypothesis is that it results in better focus and concentration. And so we're just gonna look at pre and post now. Here are the results.
Oh, wow.
And I'll stand over here so if you take pictures, I won't be like
Vanna White.
blocking your view. I'm just gonna block your view. Okay. So this is the SF36 gave me 8 different scales. I didn't use them all because some of them were a little irrelevant. But the energy scale, you can see we're looking at energy. Energy improved significantly. And I gave you the little statistical tests I used in case you really want to know that. Like this McNamara test, that's kind of cool, right? It's a test of frequencies between a paired frequencies. So if you start And then you end, then you're the same person, so you're paired, and then we're looking at how frequently you're reporting something instead of a continuous variable like how much energy you have on a scale of 0 to 100. That would be a continuous variable. Do you have energy? Yes or no? That's a frequency. Okay, so a McNamara test is the important one. I won't say any more about statistical tests. I can see what's happening. It's painful. And Jennifer's gonna have to run around with her blends really soon. Allie's like, thank you. See, prayer works, Allie. So we have a win for our PowerCHI. My son approved my memes. He said that they were all okay, it wouldn't create any problems with people. Okay, pre and post weight loss. I thought this was, you couldn't get a better result. You can't get a better result. 5 pounds is exactly the amount of weight I would want you to lose in 6 weeks. 5 pounds is perfect. You don't want to be losing 15, 25 pounds. That's too much for your body to sustain. And it's not healthy to do it that way. So I love this. I was like blown away. Like, holy dude, 5 pounds, that's awesome. So, another success. Cravings, we had a significant reduction in cravings. The way they scored, 668 at the beginning, 389, you know, that was kind of awesome. A lot of people reported. Now this is obviously statistically significant, but clinically significant as well. So that people are saying, wow, it's not like it's just a little bit, like it really made a difference for me. And you see that in the comments. People are talking a lot about comments, how useful that was. So another win. Urge for health behaviors. I wanted to exercise. I wanted to eat more healthy. That to me is the best. I am just so happy with that. You take this PowerCHI program and people, you know, what we're wanting to do is change the health of people in the world. We want to go change your health for the better. We want to really serve you well. And so here we are, helping you want to exercise, helping you want to eat better. That is fantastic. That's so exciting. So, another win. Lots of winning. Emotional wellness also. I have to say, a little surprised to find these excellent results because, well, actually that's not true. I wasn't that surprised. I was like, of course. But I'm thinking these people are already so healthy.
That's huge.
You know, really? We still get improvement and you're starting off pretty healthy? That's pretty great. So, down depressed, worried, anxious, tense, stressed, irritated, angry, agitated, all of those. Significant differences. And you can see the pre and post. Again, this is frequency data, so I would ask, are you, or did you feel down and depressed? Yes or no? And so 39 or 31% said yes. After the 6 weeks, 12% said yes. That's pretty great. Another win. So much winning. You can take a picture of that one because, you know, so much winning. Yeah. Pre and post on the SF-36. Here are the differences. General health. Your physical functioning was better. Your physical and emotional role. The physical role was better. The emotional role doesn't measure the same thing as emotional well-being. So there was really no difference in your role emotionally. You're still functioning okay in your role before and after. There wasn't a difference there. I wouldn't expect there to be. But so that's different than the down depressed, tense, that sort of thing. Social functioning, better. Emotional wellness, same thing as the emotional role. Different than the well-being items that we looked at. Does that make sense? Anyone have questions there? Okay. So there's an improvement in physical functioning, no effect on emotional functioning as measured by the SF-36. It doesn't mean this is the measure of the SF-36 that we didn't see a difference, and we saw a difference in other variables that tapped into other realms of emotion. Okay, so we won there because we are still winning. It's a little like foreshadowing to the end. You can guess what the last slide is going to be. Okay, concentration, focus. Again, not a lot of stuff on focused and productive, but on easy to concentrate. So that's interesting, isn't it? A little difference between feeling focused and productive versus finding it easy to concentrate. We'll look at more at that better. You know, I don't want to go off on a limb and really interpret it right now. I just kind of go. So there is something going on with brain fog and concentration that is different from feeling focused and productive. But it's still a win, right? For me, that's a big win, yeah. Sleep. And I wasn't looking for an effect on sleep.
Wow.
Yet, we see a great effect on sleep. Not getting enough sleep went from 39% to 11%. Excessive sleepiness during the day, which indicates that you're not sleeping well. Okay, so better sleep, that's another win, because the epic win kid always wins. Okay, so 6 weeks later, we did a follow-up. Fewer than 10% stopped using PowerCHI. So that says something, doesn't it? That's pretty cool. About half still use it every day. More Hispanics still use it every day. So you guys have something going on that the rest of us should look up to. Right? Most took 2 a day. Most still used many of the program elements. I know that the questionnaire was kind of screwed up on that, but I saw enough. Most, so I could just say most still use most of the program elements. Yeah, that's all I needed. The weight, the ending weight was between the pre and post, which means that at the end of losing those average 5 pounds, people went back up just a little bit. And so to me, what that says is when you're on a program and you're really thinking about it, it makes a difference. When you let go, then you're not thinking about it so much. And so there's a lot of value on running a program. And for you soul leaders, you know, look at what does that mean for you as a soul leader, right? I know you want to run a program to help people get involved in the company and really make a difference. Well, this really indicates that there's a lot of value to that for their own personal benefit. If you're staying on a program, in a group, you're motivated, something's going on, there's value there. And so take that home with you in terms of what can I do with my group. And I can show them this data that said, look, when you're on the study, we had good progress. Once you're off the study, 6 more weeks. So the time off the study was as long as the time on the study. And then the weight started creeping up just a little bit, but not really a lot. Statistically significant, yes. Clinically significant, the fact that everybody went up a little bit, not everybody, but you know, for the average went up, that would mean that maybe you're not quite sticking to the program as much. But still, pretty good results. So here's some comments. I love this product, great energy, great sleep and bowel movements. People had to adjust. But that's the really great thing about this kind of a program, is you take the elements, you adjust it to fit your individual needs. Soul Naturals is about how can I help you as an individual. It's not about here's the thing that you apply to everybody. You know, if you're servicing a car, you don't replace the carburetor on every single car. That just makes 0 sense. Same thing here. These are individuals. We all need something a little bit different, and so you take the time to adjust the program to what you need. And you can adjust this program based on day-to-day needs, week-to-week needs, seasonal needs, individual needs. It's very, very adjustable, so it can fit you, so you can achieve the best results you can. And then I love this last comment. It changed the shape of my stomach, and the person was like so excited about that. I thought that was awesome. There are a ton of comments. This is like the smallest amount, and most people just love this. The one thing that I did look at, because I was really curious about the impact of adrenal problems with this program. And so I tried to find some sort of difference. Did people with adrenal problems have any different outcomes? Did it affect them? Did it make it harder? And the answer was no. There were probably individuals that had some issues, but as a whole, there's a group of people who said, yes, I know I have an adrenal problem, and there's a group of people who said, no, I know I don't have a problem. And then there was a group that said, I don't know, maybe. So I ignored those people, and I went with that definite yes and the definite no, and there's no difference in outcomes between the people who knew they had adrenal thyroid problems and the people who knew they didn't. So I thought that was interesting. So I think what that says is we're getting great nutrition, and you don't have to worry so much that you're going to mess somebody up. Now, maybe if you're an individual who can't really do the PowerCHI, or you have to be very, very cautious, that's fine. Just kind of keep looking at it, kind of keep going around the circle, keep up with the nutrition, keep up with the overall program for whatever you're doing. Stick to it so that your body can adjust, level up, level up, level up. All for the epic win, right? So, conclusions. The PowerCHI really is powerful. The program is powerful. Overall health changed in just 6 weeks. I mean, this doesn't happen for many people when they buy, the $400 whatever thing on the internet. You really can't see these results happening. We know this is happening. This is the future, man. This is exciting, isn't it?